Hi. You all know me. I'm Finisia and all that. And I want to make this PCA for a friend, Aaron. And the reason I'd make this PCA is because in my world there's just too many Aarons. And the need for... She wanted me to do a PSA on the need for this planting back and this renewal of these old indigenous lifeways. And she asked me to do this at this time when you can look around you in the world that we've chosen and what the results are. Why, the signs are all around you. You shouldn't be looking for signs or a PSA telling you now's the time to return to symbiosis. The evidence is everywhere. The challenge is, how do we answer the obligations of the truth? I think we're not responsible for, our messed up juvenilized minds. Also, I don't think we're responsible for the messed up world that we've been given. But I think we are absolutely responsible before every obligation of the truth, every sense of morality, to be responsible for how we did not answer the call to become something life-giving and planting back on this planet. And somehow that's the one thing we all seem to be excused of. The ignorance that we've been given isn't our responsibility, but to gain the education to overcome that ignorance is. The juvenilization of our brains is not our responsibility, but to overcome that juvenilization using your good mind is your responsibility. This is where I would condemn you all. The fact that, you could continue living existences where more and more of these biscuit scabs are being ground into gravel pits for roads and such, and grazing sheep on them, and not doing anything to plant back these original foods. And they've been disappearing at a very high rate in the extinctions along with everything else. And if anybody had any hope of any wild return to when your eventual fall of civilization comes, well, you've already ruined it and have not learned it. Take, for instance, most of the people that live around the eagle calf, Aaron and her family included, huge volumes of what it would take to actually live in the environment that they live in. Is information they just don't know anything of. People are just ignorant. Now, that ignorance, like I say again, isn't your fault. If you understand you're ignorant of something and don't do something about it, well then therein is your liability, where your guilt is. And so here I am. And the only reason I can think of why people would have to begin planting these things back is because your conscience or your lack of conscience is going to convict you in that you are not responding to the obligations of the truth to be a life-giving thing on this planet instead of destroying it. You're not even human, but you would live by the ways of those that genocided the last of the human here. You would live on their lands even and never even learn the foods that allowed them to exist except for to graze your cattle on it. This is what got us into the mess. And for a good conscience before God, before yourselves, would be the only reason I could think there would be for doing anything like returning, renewing, replanting to old symbiotic Indian ways. And thank you for your attention. This is our PSA. Thank you again.